Let's talk about the estradiol side effect of uterine bleeding. Estrogen is a growth-promoting hormone, and one of its jobs is to make the endometrial lining of the uterus thicker. If estrogen is unopposed, meaning you don't have enough progesterone on board, your endometrial lining will become too thick and will start to slough off, causing uterine bleeding. Uterine bleeding can happen in the middle of the cycle if estrogen and progesterone are out of balance. It can happen in menopausal women when they're not taking enough progesterone to counterbalance how much estrogen they're taking. Uterine bleeding can range from spotting to heavy hemorrhagic bleeding. And if you have unusual uterine bleeding, a pelvic ultrasound can help provide answers. Definitely for postmenopausal women, if you have uterine bleeding after not bleeding for at least 13 months, you need a pelvic ultrasound to measure the endometrial lining. For postmenopausal women, the endometrial lining should be no thicker than 4 millimeters. Otherwise, there may be a chance of endometrial hyperplasia. If the endometrial lining is very thick on pelvic ultrasound, you may need an endometrial biopsy, in which a small amount of tissue is extracted from the endometrium through the cervix during the pelvic exam. The tissue is then sent to pathology, which looks for abnormal cells, including cancer. To prevent uterine bleeding, postmenopausal women need to take at least 100 milligrams of progesterone per 1 milligram of estradiol that they're taking. Postmenopausal women who cannot take enough progesterone to counterbalance their estrogen have the option of using a progestin-impregnated intrauterine device to dry up the lining of the uterus and prevent endometrial hyperplasia and uterine bleeding. For irregular mid-cycle bleeding in premenopausal women, taking progesterone up to 200 milligrams twice a day in the second half of their cycle can help regulate the cycle. I recommend GenPro, the Transdermal micronized progesterone cream. If you have any questions about uterine bleeding, please join us in our Hormone Reboot Training. I'll see you in the next video.